A rendezvous with reality. Governor Pat Quinn urged lawmakers to act this week on pension and Medicaid reform. The Democrat met with media just before 4 o'clock Monday. He said that our rendezvous with reality has come. We have been hearing for some time about the health benefits of berries. A new study tested more than 16,000 women and found eating a cup of strawberries or blueberries once a week slowed down memory loss in women by 2.5 years. Southwind Park in Springfield continues to add new attractions. This time, it's an open-air pavilion. Thanks to the Springfield Park District and the Hope Institute for Children and Families, the school helped raise funds to provide for the new facility.
And it's now 6 o'clock. I'm Trey Cole.
And I'm Natalie Sparacio. Before we get to the news this morning, let's check in with our meteorologist, Joe Crane. Joe, it was brutally hot outside this weekend. A nice taste of summer, but finally today we have a little bit of a refreshing cool down.
You thought that was brutal? You just wait till
July. I was down in St. Louis, so it was even warmer than it was here, actually.
Yeah.
Meals will be served this summer to children 18 years and younger. That's if they attend one of 8 Springfield schools that offers free breakfast and lunch. The meals are funded through the USDA Summer Food Service Program. We're here at the Sangamon Auditorium with Bob Vaughn to talk about an evening with Joe Bonamassa. He is a jazz guitarist. Tell us all about him for those who don't know. A great event for parents, but the littlest ones benefit the most. It's the 3rd annual free car seat inspection and health fair called Spring into Safety. It kicks off at 12:30 tomorrow at the SIU Center for Family Medicine. Welcome back. It's now 5:55. Sleeping on the job, probably not the best idea, right? Imagine calling to report an emergency, though, only to hear snoring on the other end of the phone line. CNN's Jeannie Mose has the story of a 911 call that should keep you awake. At about 7 o'clock this morning, police received a phone call about a dead body in the lot behind me right by that tree. We're told it's a white male in his late 30s, early 40s. They have not identified him yet. At this point, investigators think foul play is a factor. As you can imagine, neighbors are on edge. One we spoke to says he woke up to the sounds of sirens this morning. Coming up on midday, fire crews are on the scene of a family business in Litchfield that went up in flames this morning. I'm Natalie Sparacio. I'll have a live report and tell you what happened. There were 21 boating fatalities in the state of Illinois, and 2 of them happened right here on Lake Springfield. 18 of them could have been avoided if people had been wearing life jackets. During the surgery, Dr. Joe sits at this console and manipulates these robotic arms. The yellow styrofoam simulates patient tissue.
It grabs your soul and it just takes over your life.
21-year-old Amy Schellebarger of Springfield turned to heroin after she watched her boyfriend get shot at a house party last 4th of July. The traumatic experience left her looking for an escape.
It made a lot of the pain go away, not having to deal with it right then, even though it came back later.
Amy got the drug from a friend in town and instantly became addicted.
Because when you start doing heroin, you have to continue to do it to not be sick and to not go into withdrawal. And as soon as you are sick, the only thing that's on your mind is, how am I going to get high today? How am I going to get money to go get high?
Amy says she would go to the most dangerous places in Springfield to get her fix. After 8 months of snorting heroin multiple times a day, she admitted herself into treatment at the Gateway Foundation.
I just got tired of being sick and tired. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Tiffany Henry, a clinical supervisor at Gateway, said that's the case with heroin addicts she sees.
Just the clients coming in, physically, emotionally, so broken down.
Don't do it because it does grab your soul, and it's the devil's drug, Once you start, you don't want to stop.
Rather than shooting up the dangerous drug, many are now snorting it instead. That's the way Amy got high. Whether it's the stigma of using a needle or being a junkie, some consider it a growing trend.
With the injection, they see that as more severe as opposed to snorting. You could have a dirty needle. You don't know. So, with the sniffing, you're not using a needle. They perceive it as less of a risk.
Upon entering treatment, counselors focus on drug education, coping strategies, relapse prevention, and treating co-occurring disorders such as mental illness. When heroin addicts seek treatment, they're often prescribed these drugs, Suboxone and naltrexone, which block opiate receptors and assist with withdrawal symptoms.
And some clients do choose that route. Some clients haven't. They don't want to choose that route. They see it as another opiate, and they don't want to choose that route. They would rather just detox, go through the withdrawals, on their own, obviously with us monitoring.
Amy's been clean since March 28th. She's tapered off Suboxone and feels she'll be ready to head back into the real world in a couple of weeks.
It feels a lot better to have a clear mind. It's crazy. I'm actually dreaming again, and I haven't dreamed in a long time.
In Springfield, Natalie Sparacio, ABC News Channel 20.
A couple of people have said that they thought that that was strange.
We get mixed reactions. Some people kind of just turn up their nose and say, oh, and aren't really sure what to think about it. Other people are very supportive.
Babies from different mothers sharing breast milk. While the concept may sound taboo or unusual, it's actually becoming extremely common.
I'm sorry. I'll make more.
Meet Fiona Carroll of Chatham. She pumps 4 times a day so her daughter Danica gets the nutrients she needs. But she's not the only baby benefiting from her mother's breast milk. Shauna Jansen's son Oliver is as well. Fiona and Shauna became bosom buddies while meeting during a play date at Washington Park.
You never know who you're going to meet and who's going to be a blessing in your life. Who would have thought I went to this play date and I was going to find someone that was going to be able to provide Oliver with the milk he needs.
Every mom that wants to be able to feed their baby milk should be able to, and the fact that I can help obviously my baby and help another mom too is just really, really cool, and I'm happy to be able to do it. Lucky that I make enough milk and happy to be able to help somebody else. Ready?
Oh, there they go.
Ashley Graff of Springfield was pleasantly surprised she produced enough milk not only for her son Kason, but also for others. Along with donating to the Indiana Mother's Milk Bank, Ashley also shared her milk with a mom in town who couldn't produce enough of her own.
You know, even I would nurse Kason, and then an hour later I would pump because I knew that that was helping that other little girl get the breast milk that her mommy wanted her to have.
Marlene Ray, a lactation consultant at Memorial Medical Center, says breastfeeding can be thought of as a baby's first immunization.
There's so many antibodies and so many immunities that are passed just in the first few days of breastfeeding.
Before you decide to donate or receive breast milk, Marlene advises mothers to rely on a reputable source. Unsafe milk puts babies at risk for HIV, hepatitis B, and other infectious diseases.
I would have to say going through one of the actual agencies that supply donor milk, just so that the check and balance system is in place, that the milk is screened, and that it is okay to give to a baby.
The key word being donor. Many women across the country sell their milk for money. We're talking big bucks, a month supply from $300 to $1,200. But Marlene cautions mothers about that practice and says in most circumstances that's not the case.
Milk banks that are accredited milk banks are not taking any money. They're not paying their donors. The milk is donated. The milk banks within the Himbana group are all non-for-profit agencies.
Himbana, or the Human Milk Bank Association of North America, is accredited by the FDA and CDC. At this time, there are only 11 gold standard agencies across the country. Donating breast milk only costs mothers their time. Milk banks pay for all the costs associated with testing, equipment, and shipping.
It was an easy process to go through. It was just a little bit of paperwork, a blood test. They send you the coolers to put your frozen breast milk in. You just put your label on the front of it and then put it in dry ice and ship it.
Marlene says new mothers who receive milk donations from people like Fiona and Ashley are extremely grateful.
There are moms who are blessed with a very, very abundant milk supply, and if they choose to donate that milk, that is absolutely a gift of love, because for some babies that is a life or death circumstance.
In Springfield, Natalie Sparacio, ABC News Channel 20.
It's a great feeling to know that you're finally coming home. It's been a long time just over there. It's kind of anxious because you don't know how it's going to be to reintegrate, but other than that, it's a good feeling.
It wasn't an ordinary day for Deputy Chief Cliff Busher because his son Cody returned home from Afghanistan after serving our country for almost a year.
It was different. I mean, we've got 6 kids, and this was the first one that joined the military, first one that went overseas, and it's stressful.
Kim and Brock Busher are thrilled to have their brother back.
I'm very proud, big sister. Very proud of him.
Well, I've always looked up to him. I've always really wanted to be like him.
Along with Cody, 4 other soldiers returned home.
It's exciting. I've been up over the last 24 hours because we started the traveling process at 2 a.m.
Between training and deployment, Matthew Mickis of Auburn has been gone for more than a year and a half. He's excited to get back to his family routine.
Lisa!
For Chance Cook, who's stationed in Decatur, it means being reunited with his 2-year-old daughter Celeste and his wife. Celeste's t-shirt reads, "My best friend, my loving dad, my hero, Chance."
It's tough. It's a sacrifice, not one that comes at an easy price. It puts a lot of stress and hardship on a family, but if you survive that, it just makes you stronger.
In Springfield, Natalie Sparacio, ABC News Channel 20.